Hey guys, it's Neil. And because I'm the only person here who talks about X-Men ever behind the Patreon paywall, I'm sure someone cares about what I have to say about X-Men now that it's going back to the 90s aesthetic. So Hickman's little experiment of the mutant nation state of Krakoa, Dunzo. Dugan blew it up. Gillen destroyed the corpse. Jordan D. White's gone to go do Hulk and Venom, I guess. So now Tom, I've been here for 20 years, Brevoort, has come in to
20?
take
He's been
over
there
as the line editor.
35 years.
Tom Brevoort comes in and says, we're going to make some big changes. X-Men will never be the same again. And in order to facilitate the innovative new take on the X-Men, he takes them back to where they've already been. The mutants are on the run, hated and feared. It's up to the X-Men to help the world not hate and fear them again. And leading this new initiative, as I guess the new Hickman, is Gail, Simone, and MacKay. Announced at South by Southwest because that's the only audience that Marvel hasn't tapped yet for selling overpriced items. MacKay and Gail Simone will be headlining this brand new era, the things we've already done before, with a trinity of titles accompanied by Eve Ewing, who I want to remind everyone has no connection to Al Ewing. One is an American woman, the other is a British man. At South by Southwest, they announced that Simone, MacKay, and Ewing are doing the three primary titles of the book. Stegman will be doing Adjective List with Ryan Stegman. Gail Simone will be doing Uncanny X-Men with David Marquez, who went to DC, did one title, and then did nothing else before coming back to Marvel. And Ewing will be doing Exceptional X-Men with Carmen Carnero, who Zach at one point called Carmen Carmillo, which was really funny, and I wanted to bring that in for no reason other than I thought it was funny. After everyone said, well, this is mid, after the South by Southwest reaction, Marvel said, well, what if we can make it even midder? And began releasing a slew of satellite titles that only like 3 people cared about. You have your usuals. X-Force is back, written by Jeffrey Thorne and Marcus Toe. X-Factor, written by Mark Russell and Bob Quinn. Phoenix, written by Stephanie Phillips and Alessandro Miracolo. Wolverine, written by Saladin Ahmed and art by Martin Coccolo. And a somewhat obscure title, NYX, is getting relaunched by the hive mind of Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing, with art by Francesco Mortorino. I think it's a little weird to relaunch a title that made X-23 into a teenage prostitute, but here we are. With Miss Marvel on the book. That's not a good look.
Gotta make sure you get her in there, you know?
She's stuck with the mutants forever now. So let's talk a little bit about the lineups. The 2 main books are Uncanny and Adjective List. Uncanny is going to be Gambit, Jubilee, Nightcrawler, Rogue, and Wolverine, who is sharing that along with his Spotlight solo title, not surprising. Adjective List will be Cyclops with Psylocke, the Quanon version, not the Betsy version. Beast, his ride or die battle buddy Magic. Juggernaut, who's not a mutant, but I guess they let him there on as their token non-mutant. Quentin Quire, Idy, who I guess is going by Temper now, and Magneto sitting in his Jetsons chair. And Exceptional X-Men will be Kitty and Emma leading a bunch of OCs that Eve Ewing is hoping will get movie royalty adaptations, but will probably be forgotten to the annals of time.
Okay, that's fun.
What are they called? Axo, Bronze, and Melee. Yeah, these guys aren't making it past this book. Sorry. So let's take a minute to talk about these 3 main teams. I'm going to be picking up Uncanny just for the first issue and see what happens. But after that free comic book day issue where Jubilee quotes Corinthians for some reason and gets called every slur except mutant, I don't have very high hopes. I have a bit more hope for the Adjective List, mainly because I am one of the world's biggest Cyclops fans. And I like the general lineup. I don't know why they put Kid Omega and Psylocke on there together. That's just double dipping on the telepath stuff. But overall, I like the team composition. I'm glad we're back to hee hee hoo hoo, look at me go, Beast from the Avengers, and not hee hee hoo hoo. How many war crimes can I commit today? Beast from Percy's X-Force. Right?
Listen, I just want Beast to be quoting like classic literature and being smart. That's all I need my Beast to do. Okay, I don't need him committing war crimes.
Listen, if Beast quotes John Brown during a Last Stand, that'll be epic.
All right.
Exceptional, yeah, X-Men. Good creative team, but like I said, I don't really know how many legs this series has.
I like Carmen Carnero, as I just saw her in Amazing Spider-Man, and I thought her artwork is really good. So I think the arts, all three artists are like chef's kiss good. They went hard on the art.
My main issue with Exceptional is going to be like, oh, we have two mainstays. It's Kitty and Emma, and they work great together. We just talked about them in Marauders and how they kind of are the main characters, and they work great there. But a lot of these characters, you've got Vampire Twink, Dommy Mommy, and Colossus, but woman. I just don't see this issue making it past this series making it past 12 issues.
Yeah,
it's because it's these characters have a lot of overlap with other characters. You've got Diet Morbius.
Alicia.
Not even diet. Looks like the
0 calorie Morbius.
Neuroplasma Morbius.
Why is Emma on like a balancing thing from the gym that flies?
Listen,
that's how her calves are so good.
Yeah, see,
Listen.
you said this book didn't have 2 legs to stand on. Well, that's those 2 legs right there.
It's Emma Frost's
It's Emma
massive
Frost.
thighs.
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Ashley. Not a lot of women can pull off those boots. Let's be real. Like,
oh no.
Come on.
She was
Like-
hitting leg day hard.
It's like the Black Cat down to the navel neckline where you have to get double-sided tape to make it work.
Yeah.
All
What do you know
the
about
double-sided
double?
tape.
I was gonna say, what do you guys know about double-sided tape?
We know of it. We just never used it.
We're not the primary audience for double-sided tape.
That J-Lo dress
don't
is
know.
like legendary.
I'm not a huge fan of how they've described X-Men adjectiveless because it looks like it's borrowing a lot of aesthetic from the Revolutionary era where Cyclops was on the run and, you know, fighting for mutant liberation and as Diet Magneto. I don't like that he looks like he's Tyclops back from the Bendis era. He looks like he's 12.
Yeah, he looks
Like
super
he's
young.
But apparently they're going to be like a militia that polices mutants, and it's like, why are we policing our own when the world hates and fears mutants?
Listen, if there's anybody at Marvel that I trust to write competently, though, it's MacKay.
It's MacKay, yeah. And that's why I'm giving this... I've got this issue on my poll list, or I've got X-Men on my poll list, and I'm hoping it's really good. But that elevator pitch rubs me the wrong way, because that feels very out of character for a team of revolutionary X-Men to self-police the mutant community. I do like the idea that there's separate motives, not just oh, we're gonna fight bad mutants. Each team is oh, the uncanny team is outreach, adjectiveless is policing and liberation, and exceptional is education. And I think that's kind of a cool idea for a trinity of titles to take over. Moving on to the satellite titles, I have a lot less faith.
Yeah.
NYX is Miss Marvel, Prodigy, one of the Stepford Cuckoos, just one, none of the other 5, just the one, Laura Vereen, and did I say Anole? No, I didn't. Anole.
No.
This one to me I think has some potential. I like the idea of a mutant district. It's something that the original NYX kind of had the idea of, and then it went nowhere with it because it was kind of just a vehicle to bring in X-23 from the Evolution cartoon in the worst way possible.
From the reading this press release.
Oh, it was Avengers. They did Avengers. That's where I remember them from.
Yeah, Kelly and Lansing are trying to basically make these 5 characters represent the 5 boroughs, is my understanding.
And I think it's meant to be mutant culture. With Krakoa gone, there's no hub for mutant culture anymore.
And isn't there, it said there was an influx or whatever of okay, so if they're representing 5 boroughs with the influx of, these mutants, are they kind of not policing, but being a representative of that area, or how is that working?
I think it's like cultural ambassadorship. Like these guys are like the welcoming committee for mutants who are like, I don't want to say fleeing Krakoa, but you know, Krakoa's gone, so they've got all these mutants coming in.
Yeah.
I don't know why they chose NYX. Like that has a very specific connotation to me as like a very problematic introduction for Laura.
Well, and it even talks about
like
that.
calling it District X, I think would have been a better.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
I actually would like that a lot better.
X-Force to me has like no legs at all. Jeffrey Thorne, I've heard he's a good writer, but I didn't like his Green Lanterns run. The lineup is interesting. It's Betsy and Rachel coming over from the mystical side of Marvel with Deadpool. Forge is the leader. Forge being a leader is interesting because I don't think he's really been put in that role very often. Tank, who's like a Bendis era OC that not like anyone's touched since Bendis was on the title. Sage, who was in the last X-Force volume, and then Surge of all characters, who is a character that I have really wanted to see come back into Marvel's into the X-Office's roster. This feels like a weird place to put her, though.
Well, and then it's like a revolving door of Marvel guest stars, and so then they're like, oh, we're just gonna put Deadpool in here because, you know.
I feel like Deadpool's one of those characters though that they can just throw in as like a cameo in like the most random of comics, anyways.
He's been a consistent X-Force alumni.
Yeah.
He sells well, and he can, depending on who's writing him, he can be a moral center for the team.
Yeah,
but it depends. It's a lot of this book rides on the execution, and frankly, with a lot of these characters, I don't think it has a lot of legs.
It's gonna look pretty because it's Marcus Toe, but
there's a lot of Excalibur stuff coming over from this. You know what? There's a book that I'm really looking forward, or not really looking forward to, but it's interesting. X Factor. Aside from the Greg Land covers, which may or may not have AI in them, which is weird.
Okay.
Look at that hand. 6 fingers.
Yeah.
1, 2.
Okay.
3. Oh no! Why? Why?
Bro.
Oh no! Oh no!
It's like when they like post up things of like the Jack Skellington like Keurig machine, and the thing's like 20 feet tall, as big as the actual aisle and like shelf, and then the product codes are all like weird, obscure gibberish. That's what that looks like. So,
this
variant covers are better than the main cover. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that's because it's Greg Land.
I was say how many fingers are on? No, I'm just kidding. Maybe he was meant to have 6 fingers.
That Azra cover actually looks pretty decent. I thought that was Wolfsbane. It's just feral. It's like Diet Wolfsbane. But you know, you got kind of your B to C listers. You got Frenzy, Havoc, Angel. Cecilia Reyes is getting a spotlight, which is interesting. We are actually just talking about Cecilia in our review of X-Men #5. Is Zyber? What the hell is Zyber? I need to look that up. I don't even know who Zyber is.
He also, by the way, Mark Russell wrote Fantastic Four Life Story, which I.
Oh, that was awful. I forgot that was bad. Never mind. I'm kind of less excited now that I remember that.
Hang on.
I think Zyber is an OC. Oh, it's a new character. Yeah, that says so in the press release. You know, decent lineup. I like Bob Quinn's art. This has the makings of a good thing. Again, it's one of those things where execution is going to be all that matters.
It's any book. It's all about the execution.
But there's certain creative teams and team lineups that kind of stack the deck in their favor, and then it becomes less reliant on execution to sell me on the premise.
Can Phoenix support its own title? Can she support her own title? I feel bad for Stephanie. Like,
at least I don't think so. I feel bad for Stephanie because she seems like a great person.
Yeah.
But I think taking the Phoenix Cosmic is a cool idea. I'd love to see Nova again because he was kind of on a cliffhanger the last time we saw him. I don't know. It feels when they lean too hard into the Phoenix stuff, Jean becomes really boring really fast.
Right.
I agree with that.
And she only really works as like a mini series that examines her as a character. And it's one of those things where like I don't think there's shame in being only working on a team title. Every time the X-Men try to make like a solo character book work that isn't Wolverine, it always bombs because no one really cares about them outside of the team context. Ahmed's pitch for Wolverine is just so pedestrian. Oh, Wolverine goes feral again. Unleash the animal. Animal reawakens.
Haven't seen that storyline before. Cutting edge.
And it really upsets me because Martin Coccolo is like a phenomenal artist. Has been like one of the big reasons why Immortal Thor is so good. And it's like, why are we doing this? Why are we taking one of the best parts of one of the best ongoings at Marvel and putting them on?
Like, honestly,
the hey, look, it's another Wolverine goes feral story.
like that's a poster.
Yeah.
That's Wolverine as a character as a poster. He's just there to say cool catchphrases and go snicked, bub, Gene.
Gotta touch the picture there, bub. But like, if you take away the trade dress, right, you could sell that as a poster, right?
A poster.
I guarantee you, if I get like the magazine with the solicits in it, probably gonna be a poster order in there somewhere. But I can.
Oh yeah, it's 50th anniversary of Wolverine.
Yeah.
Like they've released like 5 2-packs of Wolverine this year. They're doing another Wolverine as like a solo release, and there's like at least 2 more that are coming this year. So like, it's
just like make the merch at this point. Like,
yeah.
Don't make Wolverine. Wolverine is like Spider-Man, that he can't age or that he can't grow as a character. He's just there to sell posters and be like Mickey Mouse. You know, Wolverine's run out of stories. That's why I kind of wanted Laura to take over full time. Like, I wish Logan had stayed dead for like 3 or 4 more years so that Laura could.
Never. They'll never let that happen ever.
They'll never let their R-rated Mickey Mouse go away. Spider-Man's the Mickey Mouse for teenagers. Wolverine's the Mickey Mouse for adults who think they're teenagers still. Storm getting an ongoing, I think, is an interesting concept, but it's what she already had a chance at an ongoing.
Well,
it didn't go well.
What direction did it seem like they were taking it with her for this?
In the Women of Marvel one shot, they had like a preview of what's to come for the Women of the X-Men office. Storm went back to her Morlocks era mohawk cut and is, I guess, running for Congress, even though she was just Queen of Mars. What a great arc for her character to go on. I am Aurora Monroe, Queen of Mars, and I'm running for office and endorse this message.
Jesus Christ.
And, you know, I think that there's an interesting avenue to explore there with like the institutional bigotry against mutants. But it's one of those things that's, like, on paper it's cool, and then like, okay, let's see how this turns out. It's gonna be mid.
Neil, you're operating in 240.
You got your camera's not focusing.
There we go. See?
That's why.
Take a page.
Manual camera.
You made it worse.
You did. Haha. T-Mobile's back to watching, I guess.
They're slapping my ass right now, and it's not the fun kind of slapping.
Yep.
This is the get the belt part of the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, there's only like 3 titles that really interest me out of the, Jesus Christ, 9 issues of announced titles. The first one is the main title, Adjective List, written by MacKay, just because it's MacKay and Stegman. They have a ton of goodwill from their previous stuff. I think Stegman's tired of writing the Venom Gravy Train. He wants to write a new he wants to draw a new property.
If they ever adapt, which I think they will, King of Black, then they're going to bring on
Stegman as like a character designer or as a
producer. Oh yeah, he'll make money.
NYX is interesting, at least in concept. Like, what do we do after Krakoa? What do we do after our ethno-state island blows up and we have to go back and say, Mom, I really messed up. Please take me back.
Maybe that's why Storm's running for, government, like, is because of all of this. They're just gonna have
someone's like,
crossover.
Like you write as a comedy book, Storm is just like, I'm here to run for office. Weren't you Queen of Mars? Once, but only once.
Weren't you Queen of Wakanda?
Once, but I got divorced. Here's the thing about Exceptional is that good creative team, but I don't feel like we needed to make 3 new main characters because the X-Men already have like a huge repository of disposable D-list mutants that no one ever uses because they don't get the money from royalty adaptations.
What's that cover? There was that cover that they just did, right? That X-Men, like they just announced it a few weeks ago, where it was like all the X-Men, and it was like 4 covers. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, the ones for Like they're doing one for X-Men 35, and then they have like 3 others
Yeah.
for like the launch titles.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know where they would be. I'm not paying like $30 for one cover. Sorry, Zach.
So my other question is, I wonder which one's keeping the legacy numbering. Is it Uncanny that keeps the
Good
legacy
question. I don't know if they're going back to like the old Marvel numbering, or if they're just not showing the legacy numbering. Maybe they'll both have it. Like, because X-Men's launch, because Adjective List is launching first, and then Uncanny's launching like in August, I think.
Yeah.
So it might be they're sharing the legacy numbering.
I don't like her face.
Which one? Yes.
Emma.
I also don't like the angle of which.
It's not a good one. Like, it makes her nose look like blocked. And what is that? That's like that meme that came up like years ago of like when you open your front facing camera on accident and had Ursula's face. That's what she's got. I don't like it.
I don't like this one.
I don't like that one either.
She looks like one of those people at the park that like bronze themselves and pretend they're statues and like try to scare people. You know
Like
what I'm
I said,
talking about?
It's Diet Colossus and like everywhere. Look, we even got bronze instead of like a silverish metal.
I don't like it.
Elizabeth Torque.
Because she's so cute too. Look at her. She's adorable there. Like, but then what'd they do with the other ones?
Ew.
Ew.
And
That
this
one
one's just like,
I like that one. That's my favorite so far.
if Emma's gonna lead the team, that's a much better cover.
It is.
Yes.
So here's the cover for X-Men #1. I like this one. Like, I like the idea of Cyclops drawing a line in the sand. Like, you're not hurting this weird little creature, this weird little guy.
Aw.
Oh, look, Rob Liefeld learned how to draw feet. That's great. Good for him.
Only one though. Only
It's
one.
just
Look,
the
look.
one.
It's
Oh wait,
just
that's not
the
even
one.
Liefeld. That's Tony Daniel. I was wrong.
Oh.
I was gonna say, I don't see them. Where are they?
So here's Tony S. Daniels cover, and then we're back to classic Psylocke posing.
There again. There's J. Scott Campbell. Got to show that booty.
Horny teenage boys be like, "We're so back. It's never been more back." George Perez's corpse being drawn up.
Bro.
Oh, what?
They dug up George Perez's corpse to bring us a Beast cover.
Is that like a convention sketch that they just colored?
Looks like he's tripping out. Salutations, my merry mutant comrades. I took a huge dose of LSD and I'm tripping out. Please help me.
Rest in peace, George Perez. Like, if it's going to his estate, cool, but like,
It's
but,
not.
like,
Bro, dead. Nothing.
You think the mega corporation's gonna give his family any money?
Nothing behind those
stupid?
eyes. Nothing.
For the smartest character on the team, he's got like one brain cell. I guess that's one brain cell more than the rest of the team.
listen, he's got joy in his heart, okay?
He's trying his best.
That's about all he's got.
What's the consensus, gang? What do you think of From the Ashes 2024?
I mean, look,
It's X-Men.
it feels X-Men-y. To be completely frank, Krakoa for me, because I'm obviously reading Krakoa for the first time on Books of X. Whoever was going to do it, like you said at the beginning of the video, whoever was going to do this was going to have a tough act to follow, because obviously
Game
Krakoa
changer.
it was a game changer. And so now, okay, where do we go from here is both thrilling and makes me a little nervous.
Disappointing.
Yeah, well, and look, you know,
I mean,
Gail
using the
Simone-
same titles too. Like,
Right.
for some of it, yeah.
Look, Uncanny X-Men, because of the legacy of it, I understand keeping that title alive. It's the
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man, it's the Fantastic Four, it's the Avengers. That's the X-Men title that can trace its origin back to Stan and Jack. So, okay. Again, I think Gail Simone has a lot of goodwill in the comic community. What I'm saying is she's a veteran. You know, of the three, Eve is probably the newest writer. you know, Gail's been in this game for 20 plus years now. Jed has been in this game, you know, for at least 15 years, I think. And
Shit, I
he
didn't
has
know that.
Yeah, he has the track record. You know, for me, like of the 3 main books, I'm most excited for Jed because MacKay has proven that he is probably the best writer at Marvel overall.
He's their
Everything
most
he's-
consistent one right now.
So at the end of the day, we know that all 9 titles are not going to survive probably past the first year. There's going to be a culling. There's going to be, you know, some cancellations and relaunches. The other 6 titles, take it or leave it. But these main 3, I'm interested.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So yeah, I guess best of luck to all the creative teams. With the act you're following up on, you're gonna need it.
Yeah, absolutely. And of
Fix
course, if you
that
have-
6th finger too. That needs to be said.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
Greg Land. It's Greg Land. He's already moved on to his next thing.
yeah.
Like whatevs.
But thanks for those that are watching this video. Thank you guys for watching. Give it a like, share, and subscribe. Let us know by leaving us a comment down below that like button, and we'll catch you on the flip side.